Hey guys, it's me, Sadie, back again. I know you probably just finished my first video of the introduction, which was extremely cringy. Haha. But yeah, so my first video, I wanted to do a little story time, starting off my series of weird things I experienced growing up. And I'm sure everybody has those weird experiences, but what better to do than listen to someone else's? Am I right, gamers? One of the most traumatic stories I have growing up actually happened to me in the 4th grade. I'm actually going to include the Orlando Sentinel the article for what happened in the description below. So if you want to check that out, be my guest. I went to Moss Park Elementary School for the 4th grade. It was the first year they were open, and basically I got stuck in the worst possible class. And if you talk to any other kid in that class, at that school, in that grade, you knew about our class. And it's not because I was a bad child, because I was a goody two-shoes. I was just a very perfect little child, and they just threw me in this class with a bunch of delinquents. One of them got pregnant in high school. One of them, I remember waking him up and saying his mom was here as a joke, and then he screamed at me, "My mom's in jail," and I didn't know how to react to that. Another one of them probably had some form of mental disorder, because he would always scream in the middle of class and stick both of his legs behind his head and just like roll around. But there was this transfer student about halfway through the year. I'm not going to say her name because at the time she was a minor, and I'm hoping that she is doing better with herself at this time. I don't know what happened to her, because right after that she got transferred out. As all things normal, kids walk to school. And, you know, we were all really close. The school was like in our neighborhood. So one morning, we are, you know, going around, taking our desks off the tables, because that's what we do. You every day you put your desk back on your table, back on your desk, your chair back on your desk, so that they can vacuum, you know. And we had this little thing called the desk fairy, and that week I was the assigned desk fairy, and I had to check and make sure, you know, all your pencils were in your pencil case, and your textbooks were in line, and there wasn't a bunch of like trash and napkins stuffed in your desk. You know, I was the snitch, I was the class snitch. And you got little like tickets or tokens, I don't quite remember what it was, if you had a clean desk. But anyways, yeah, I'm walking around the class, you know, it's really early in the morning before everybody gets there, so no one has a chance to like clean out their desk and be like, "Oh, look, teacher, like, I'm good." But yeah, no, so, you know, it's just the beginning of the day, and this girl walks in. Preface, this girl is 11 years old, and we're in the 4th grade, so everybody's like 8 going on 9 at this time. She's 11 years old, so she's obviously been held back a couple times, and I'm not sure what the reason is. She was 170 pounds and 5 feet tall. She was a big girl. So I couldn't have been more than maybe 45 pounds and maybe like 3, almost 4 feet tall at the time, because, you know, I don't know, I was small. But no, this girl's freaking huge. She's massive. She walks in, she's mad as hell, and we're all just going about our business, and all of a sudden the music teacher walks in. Miss Mitchell, shout out to Miss Mitchell, sweetest lady ever. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. But anyways, Miss Mitchell walks in. "Hey, girl, can you please come with me down to the principal's office? We would like to talk to you." And she just says no. And we all don't know what happened. Apparently, she had pushed another student into oncoming traffic while they were walking to school, and the girl, the music teacher, had witnessed that. So she was going to bring her down to the principal's office, and that's what we were told. Not at that point in time, actually, we found that out a lot later. But she says no, so Then the teacher asks, and we're all just going about our business, you know, just like, what the hell ever, don't know why she's like just not doing it. But eventually they get the school cop to come upstairs and ask her to calmly come with her. And she just starts screaming, no, I'm not coming with you, just like freaking out. So the cop tries to come and grab her. This cop is a woman. She's probably 40 years old, a little heavy set. I think her name was Donna. Yeah, but let's just call her Donna. Officer Donna is like, you need to come with me. Like this is a serious issue, ma'am. Like, please come with us. And she's just like screaming like, no. So they start running around the classroom, and I can't tell you how much of a cartoon, like, this was like around and around and around the classroom. So she starts yanking freaking chairs off the desk, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, bro? Because like I'm just like watching this cop chase this massive girl around the room. Eventually, the cop grabs the girl, and she's like screaming like, you can't touch me, you can't take me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yo. And literally like everybody in the room is like, yeah. So yeah, she grabs the girl, and she gets one handcuff on her because she's trying to restrain her at this point because she's flipping out. She gets one handcuff on, and she like breaks free. But when she like whips her arm to get away, the loose handcuff swings back and knocks the cop in the face, and like her nose started bleeding. I thought she broke her freaking nose because like there was just like blood gushing out everywhere like instantly. And at that point, we're just screaming because we were like, oh my God. And the cop just starts screaming, everybody get down. And the teacher's like, nobody look. And we're all just like screaming, like, wah, wah. Just imagine like a class of like small fourth graders, this giant girl running around. This cop pulls out what I thought was a gun. At that time, like, I wasn't allowed to play like GTA or like violent video games. I had no idea what a taser gun was. So in my head, I'm like, I'm about to witness a murder. This cop is gonna shoot this girl right here, right now. Like, this is it. My girl's dead. And the teacher's just screaming. We're all like on the floor at this point, like, yo. And I'm crying. Like, I'm crying. And all of a sudden, you just see this red dot appear on this girl's back. And then, like, this spring launches out of the gun and latches onto this girl's spine. And you just hear, and, like, in slow motion, you just, like, watch her drop. And then, like, her fat is just, like, jiggling on the floor. And she's just, like, she's just screaming bloody murder. I'm like, oh, my God. She's dead. She's dying. I don't know what I just watched. Like, oh, my God. And the cop like comes up behind her, freaking secures the handcuffs, and we're all just like, wah! And the teacher's screaming, no, I'm telling, I swear to God, this is just the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. Like, as a child, this is probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. So continuing on, so we're just all like laying on the floor, and this cop is like calling like 911, and we had to like stay on the ground till the paramedics came and picked up her body, put it on this stretcher, and wheeled her out. And the whole time she's just like groaning, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, so no, like, finally we're all allowed to, like, stand up, and, like, I'm at the front of the class, because that's where I ended up, and the music teacher, like, walks up to the front of the class to be like, is everyone okay? And I, like, literally just, like, latch onto her, and I'm like, why do these things happen? And she's like, it's okay, she was just tased. They had to explain to us what a taser was. Some of the kids obviously already knew. I didn't, some of the other kids didn't. But yeah, so they walked us downstairs, and they're just like, they're wheeling this girl like to the elevator. She's still groaning. The cop is gone. Like, there's just blood all over the freaking floor. The teacher's just like, listen, everybody, get in line, be quiet. You're all going down to the library. So they take us down to the library, and they give us construction paper to make sympathy cards for the girl and the officer, because they both had to go to the hospital. And I actually cried on the card, and I remember circling my tears, and I was just like, these tears are for you. And then they gave us ice cream and let us watch Ice Age, and then they let us go early because, we had all experienced a traumatic event. And the funniest thing is, that day they sent out a letter to the parents, because they didn't call anybody. They just sent home a letter that said there was an incident with a 4th grader, and it was handled by the police, and that was basically all they said. But no, I was like, Mom, guess what happened at school today? This girl got shot, like, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, what? So I had this little clay set, and I recreated with this clay set what exactly happened, and she calls the school like flaming mad. Like, and it was funny because like there were like reporters and everything like asking like parents like what happened. Obviously the parents didn't know, and nobody else that was at that school knew what happened except for us in the classroom. We weren't allowed to go to lunch. We didn't have phones back then, so like we weren't texting anybody. We weren't like going to classrooms like being like, yo, you can't believe what I just saw. Like, the only people that knew was us. And so like the story didn't really ever get out the way it needed to, but that is what made my parents decide to put me into private school the next year, where things really changed for me. But we'll talk about that on the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It's always really fun for me to tell because of how just absolutely insane it was. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, tell your friends. All right. Sadie out.